So today, I'm not gonna lie, was a very testing day. I was experiencing essay on 100 when I woke up out of the bed. Usually what I would do in my morning is kind of have like a little ritual going on. So it might be meditation, it could be prayer, it could be a bunch of different things, which I didn't manage to do because my little boy, who's 2.5, guys, he woke up before me and I had to go straight into mummy mode. So with the essay and being a mum, it is very, very difficult because I have to be prepared for my days ahead of me. I have to get ahead of the essay before it steps out. I have to make sure that my rituals are done, completed before I begin my day. So that wasn't the case for me this morning. I woke up and I kind of just got off on the wrong foot and I just started stumbling everywhere, and before you know it, I was flat on my face and I just felt a little bit overwhelmed, I'm not gonna lie. So that's what's gone on with me today. I had a plan to film this video, which I did a little while before. I'm filming this one actually. I was filming this video and I was fatigued, low energy, all of that, all right? And I said to myself, you know what, I need to do some self-care. So I took some time out. I put on some incense, I put on some music. I cleaned up my room a little bit, made it appear just very clean and just fuss-free. And I ran myself a nice hot bath and I just soaked in the bath and I was good to go. So it brings me all the way back here so that I can give you the video that I tried to film earlier. So these are just some ways that I was dealing with essay before I had counselling, and then the way that I'm dealing with essay now that I've had the counselling. There's a very big shift in the way that I deal with myself now, and it's led for a healthier life. My well-being's gone through the roof, honestly, guys. It has. I'm not even joking or gassing. My well-being went up through the roof and I feel much better. I just feel better equipped to deal with it, if you know what I'm saying. I know that everybody experiences essay differently, so you might not be able to relate if you are an essay experiencer yourself. But then again, you might be able to relate, and if you do, I'd love to hear in what ways you relate. And even if you don't, I'd love for you to tell me how you actually deal with it, or how you suffer in your own particular way. So the number one thing that I used to do was avoid talking, avoid interaction, and avoid asking questions. So we all know we've got things to do, we've got errands to run, we've got to go to the post office, we've got to take our kids to school, we've got to go to university, we've got to go to work, we've got to go and visit family sometimes. Like, there's just things that we have to do each day. And when you're having a high essay day, like when it's really on 100 and not trying to let you live your best life, then there might be some automatic defense mechanisms that you might use. So basically, I just wouldn't talk to people if I could avoid it. Asking for things was something that I would avoid. It could be the smallest things, like, you know, say I'm lost and I want to ask for directions. I probably would avoid doing that and just go the long route to find out where I need to go, because I just don't want to have any interaction in that day. What I now do with things like that is I push myself to do it anyway. I don't beat myself up about it afterwards. I just push myself to do it. And I don't worry about how it's coming across. I just do it because I don't want to be in the avoidance state anymore. It's not the answer to everything, but I think that it's important that you're always challenging yourself, and that's what I'm trying to do. Is just challenge myself to just do the smallest little interactions, and trust me, you'll feel better for doing it. And then after the fact that it's done, you can kind of give yourself a pat on the back, because you have to realize and acknowledge when you are breaking old patterns. So along with breaking old patterns goes the negative thinking. So if I have like a reel of negative thoughts, like I'm not good enough, people are judging me, things that you might think when you're actually going through it, you have to challenge it. So I've been saying, you know what, girl? You're capable, you're confident, you're intelligent, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're likable. All these things I say to myself instead of just reeling off negative thoughts. So if you do it for long enough, it will become normal. And I feel like that's becoming the case for me now. I have been doing it often, almost every day, there's like every day a negative thought will come into my head and I will challenge it with what I actually believe. And I think in doing that, I've been able to make such progress just in my well-being and in my personal life anyway, because I'm no longer telling myself that I'm no good, and I'm no longer allowing people outside of me to control who I really am or what I'm really worth. So that's helped me immensely. Self-sabotage. Oh my gosh, self-sabotage is a madness for me. So say for example, somebody comes up to me and they're like, okay, nice to meet you. How are you? What's your name? I would then go out of my way to make sure that I find something that I do not like about the person so that I can sabotage the friendship and be comfortable. And that is called living in your comfort zone. And your comfort zone is the worst place to be, especially with SA, because you don't grow and you don't evolve and you don't beat it. And so with me self-sabotaging friendships and even just social situations, like for example joining a course, I will find all the things wrong with that course so that I can get out of it, or I'd find all the wrong things with those people to get out of the friendship so that I can feel comfortable in my little bubble and happy and be like, it's their fault and it's not mine. And that's just blaming, and that's playing victim as well. That's what SA makes you do. It makes you play the victim. Now, the truth of the matter is that there's nothing wrong with those people and you are just protecting yourself. And if you're doing that, you know what? It's not your fault. It is a symptom of SA. However, you can change it, and that's what I tend to do. And the way that I tend to do that is I tend to like lessen the expectation of myself and of that person. If my expectations are up here of somebody that I don't know, then it's automatically going to fail, because they can only be who they are. And if you don't know who they are, how can you have expectations or high expectations? You can't have expectations of people anyway. And then now you want to be having higher expectations. That's not working. And so for me, what I tended to do was I just let them off the hook. I said to them, you know what? I don't know you. I'm going to give you a chance. Yes, you might like me. Whereas the old person will probably be like, no, they don't like you. You're never going to make friends. They're going to find out that you're weird, that you got problems, and then they're probably going to just ditch you as a friend anyway. I would counteract that by saying, you know what? I get to choose who's in my life. I get to welcome beautiful people into my life. And the only way that I can do that is by being a little bit vulnerable and a little bit less control freak, if you know what I mean. So the main thing that I wanted to talk about here was the high anxiety when approaching a situation that you're just dreading. So if you've got to do a TED talk, which obviously all of us get to do one day, no, I'm joking. No, but if you want to do like some sort of talk, or you've got like a I don't know, like maybe like a presentation to do, or like you have to stand up and speak in a business meeting, or you know, you have to go somewhere where there's loads of people. Maybe it's like a parents' evening or a gathering, or all the places that scare you, all the social situations that scare you. What I used to do is I used to really drum into myself that, you know, just fix up, be normal, stop worrying. I'd really be horrible to myself about it, and it didn't make me feel better. So my symptoms would include like racing heart, panic. I would basically preconceive the situation in my head that it's going to be awful before I even get into the place. Sometimes I'll kind of, my pace of breathing will quicken, and I just don't know what to do with myself, and it just total disarray and just madness. And so what I tend to do now is that I try to tell myself that it's okay that you're going through this. It's okay that you're feeling this. This is completely normal. It doesn't have to take over you. You're going to go in there and it probably won't be as bad as you think it's going to be. And what do you have to lose? Like, what do you genuinely have to lose? Or I might even picture the worst case scenario and just laugh at myself. And it helps, you know, just to preconceive it being positive then rather than negative actually helps a million. People pleasing was one of the worst ones, I personally think, because that people pleasing, being overly friendly just so that people will like you, or you can change their opinion, or you feel like you can control people subconsciously, never works, because you're forcing yourself to be somebody you're just not. You're not a person that's overly friendly and overly pleasing or you want to please people. That's just something you're doing because you're scared. So what I tend to do now is just to try to be myself and try to be a bit more calmer and just try to react the way that I usually would react. I think that people pleasing is something that I'm still working on, if I'm honest with you. And even just approaching the event is also something I'm working on. But one thing that I know has improved is usually after after a social situation, I will come home and I will literally obsessively think over all the little details of what I'd gone through and how awful it was and how silly I looked and how people might have been thinking X, Y, and Z about me. And I would just do it to the point where I felt sick and I couldn't sleep and I had anxiety that I was just riddled with anxiety. I couldn't get away from it. And I don't do that anymore. And I remember a long time ago, like this time last year, my sister had graduated and she had a graduation ceremony. It was really nice, all good. She had a dinner and all her family was there because we only share the same dad. So all of her side of her mum's side was there. I just remember thinking to myself when I got home the next day that I was acting silly and people should probably thought, what the hell is wrong with her? And it was extremely stressful and it was tense and it was all in my head and I was making myself feel that way. I haven't had a situation like that yet, again, because I haven't really been in a situation like that. But in situations where there are strangers, I have proven to deal with it better. So I'm hoping that the next time I get into a social situation with family and people like that, that I will see how I can challenge myself and see where I can make room for positive interaction and positive change on this journey. If you found any of this helpful, please do give it a thumbs up and share it if you like. And I love to see comments at the bottom of my video just explaining yourselves about how you go for it personally. So if you feel like you want to comment and just explain how you go through it, or if you know somebody who goes through it and you want to send it or you want to share their experience, please do. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next video. I hope this has been very informative. I'm going to try and enjoy the weekend anyway. SA free. All right, guys, take care. Bye.